Thank you very much for being here, Louise. I would like to ask you a big, broad and difficult question, I know. But I would like to know what are, in your opinion, the most important challenges of education systems nowadays?
That's a big question.
It is.
I think it's shifting the focus away from trying to change young people and towards trying to change systems and practices that are unequal, and particularly I think a big challenge is how we dismantle privilege. I think privilege is underlying a lot of the issues, and while we keep trying to make out it's the problem of young people who have to change to fit the system, I don't think things will change in a big way.
So the question is, I completely agree that challenging privilege is something basic and putting the responsibility on the system, not on the individuals. But how to do it in a context in which the very society that is a capitalist society is based on individual privilege and individual merit. So how educational systems, what kind of practices can challenge that?
Yeah, again, a really good question. I think if we draw on our own work, so we don't pretend that we can make huge, massive changes, but we like to work with teachers and other educational practitioners, and we think that when critical professional reflection is embedded in the practice, when teachers are respected as professionals and given the time and the support and the resource to think critically around issues of equity and social justice, that can translate through and make a difference to the children, the young people that they work with. So it's small changes, but I think they can have important effects.
Yeah, of course. So in political terms, there is also on how we build and sustain the teacher community, no? What kind of teacher training we have in different countries, what kind of teacher developing, what kind of mechanisms for teachers to collaborate among them.
Yeah, and I think in our context in the UK and England, that's very much under threat. We see more and more demands placed on teachers and less space and time given to letting them develop as professionals, engage with critical ideas, engage with sociology. And I think when we lose that, we're really trying to reduce teaching to a technical a part of social reproduction, really. So I think it's really important to claim those back. And
yeah,
have
completely
those
agree.
Yeah.
And here, for example, in Catalonia and Spain, every time there is a new government, there is a new educational law, and one of the changes is on curriculum, and there are a lot of public debates if teachers have to be political actors, if teachers have to be just specialized on one area of knowledge, and also like sometimes there is a criticism of sociologists. So what would you say to this kind of criticism? Why sociology, for example, is important for the teacher training?
I think the joy of sociology is it is all about thinking critically around asking questions of the taken for granted, of the everyday. And I think that's so important, that we need to be able to think otherwise about education, about society. So it's really important for me, it's key that teachers, that this should be part of their toolbox of pedagogy, of how they teach.
So last question, I understand here there is something that of course is about material resources, but there is also about a cultural change and how we work upon teachers' beliefs, for example, and how we have spaces to review our own beliefs as teachers, no?
Yeah, I think, some of the most rewarding work we've been part of has been where we've worked in research practice partnerships. So researchers and practitioners working and learning together. So we learn from each other, we learn from each other's contexts, and that sort of co-creation and co-development of knowledge, of research, of practice. I think that's where I've seen the most sort of exciting critical possibilities emerging. So it would be great to see more of that supported.
Completely agree. So thank you very much.
Thank you.